In today's video, we're going to be going over stretches for helping hip pain and knee pain. These are going to target our major muscle groups of our lower leg. This is geared towards any athletes, weightlifters, or anyone just trying to improve their general health and well-being. The first muscle group we're going to target is our quadriceps. This is the front of our thigh muscle. It goes from our knee up to the very top of our femur, and one of the quadriceps, quad being 4, the rectus femoris, attaches on the front of the hip. So these muscles are very important for our knee health and our hip health. One of the stretches I really like to do for this muscle is in this kind of elevated, modified runner's stretch. So I like to have my foot resting up on the couch to try and get that stretch in the front of the thigh. I like to call these my Netflix stretches because I like to do them while watching Netflix and watching TV. Now, one of the things I like to do with this one is you can really modify how intense the stretch is. By coming a little bit forward, sticking your hips forward and chest up, you get a nice stretch into the thigh. As you get better with the stretch, you can start to try and come closer, bringing your butt closer to your ankle. So the closer you get to the ankle, the more bend you can see in my knee. And the more bend in the knee, the more relative stretch I'm getting across the front of the thigh. For this one, again, it's really important to be chest up, hips forward, and then leaning back, trying to get your butt as close to your ankle as you can. This, you can really feel that stretch in the front of the thigh. For anyone who does any kind of squats or running or any of that kind of jumping repetitive motions, this is one you should be doing as much as you can at the end of your days. I like to hold this stretch for about 2 minutes per side. The next one is a good old hamstring stretch, and we all love not stretching our hamstrings, but it is critical. Very simple, sitting at the very end of the couch, straighten one leg that you want to stretch. Let the foot relax. Don't try and point your toes to your nose because you'll get some calf tightness there or some nerve tension. So just have your toes and foot relaxed. Then what you actually want to do is make sure you have a neutral spine. Don't try and stretch your hamstrings when trying to bend at your back, reaching forward, because you're just getting a really good back stretch as well, and you can actually tension the nerves. So just keep your neutral spine. With that neutral spine, foot relaxed, knees straight, all you're going to do is hinge forward. I'm just going to hinge forward until I feel that specific targeted stretch in the hamstring, in the back of my thigh here. So you can see I'm in a relatively straight spine. I like to call it neutral. I'm just forward until I feel that stretch, and I'm just going to hang out here in this position. How long you want to be stretching for? Again, it's up to 2 minutes per side. The literature shows that at least a minute is required. You can go up to 2 minutes, even 2.5 minutes per side. Now, the big thing again with the hamstrings is just trying not to bend at the back, trying to avoid increasing the nerve tension. We just want a nice muscle stretch here. This is how I like to do this one. We're going to target stretching the glutes right now, and we're going to go through a few different variations, ones that I play with how I like depending on the day. The first one is a seated figure 4. So very easy, sitting on the edge of the couch, you're going to put one leg up on top of your knee. Now there's 2 variations to this one here. If you have tight piriformis, or if you've heard of piriformis muscle shortening in your life before, you can push down on your knee and you'll get a deep stretch in the glute. If you want more of an actual glute max stretch, what you'll do is you'll pull the knee towards your opposite shoulder and you can hold in this position. Now, they are similar but slightly different. So pulling the knee to the opposite shoulder, you'll get more of that glute max, so your big glute muscle that helps with hip extension, so pushing up and straightening of the hip. Or you can do the little modified figure 4 where you're pushing down on the knee to really target that deeper hip rotator, your piriformis. This one can be niggly in lots of runners or people who sit a lot and get that shortening and tightening there. Again, for both of these, trying to hold it for around 2 minutes. You can pick one or the other. I tend to vary towards stretching my glute maxes more and just being specific enough to hold it for the required amount of time. The last one we're going to cover here is an adductor stretch, so an inner thigh stretch. I quite like this one. It helps my back a little bit too, but you're just going to go in a wide stance and then you're just going to come down onto your forearms. You're just going to hang out in this position. It's also called the frog pose or the goalie stretch. We like to ignore our adductors. We don't target them in strengthening a lot, but they are a key player in a lot of what we do. So doing this stretch is really important for the health of your knees and your hips. Same as before, we're going to try and do 2 minutes total, because in this stretch you are getting both at the same time, so you can just kind of hang out for 2 minutes. Trying not to round your back, just keep yourself in a nice, stable, neutral position. And yeah, just hang out and enjoy this stretch. It feels great. Now we're going to go through a bonus exercise. This is my mobility exercise that I do before all my workouts, especially my leg day ones and before my sports activities such as basketball. So it's combining 2 of our stretches into one mobility exercise. And mobility is moving our muscles throughout their full range of motion repeatedly as opposed to a prolonged stretch. So I'm starting in that half kneeling modified runner stretch. Normally at the gym, my foot is up on a bench or against the wall. Chest up, hips forward. I'm going to bring this leg a little bit more forward and I'm going to lean everything, push it straight ahead. I'm getting this quad on this side. Then I'm going to come back, straighten my front knee, and then hinge at the hips to feel that hamstring on the left side. And I'm going to alternate between these 2 movements here to work the mobility of these muscles. So chest up, hips forward, bring it back, hinge forward, chest down, knee straight to get the hamstring. So I'm getting the hip flexors and the quads on one side, and I'm getting the hamstring on the other side. For me, when I do this at the gym, I usually do 1 set, maybe 2 sets, depending on the day, of 20 to 25 repetitions per side. So I do more repetitions to try and get the muscles going through their full range of motion to help get some good blood flow and to help warm up. Chest forward, hips forward, bring it back, hinge, get that hamstring stretch on that left side. So those are the 4 major muscle groups that I stretch on a regular basis. I try and do my lower body 3 or 4 times a week, and I really try to get my upper body 2 or 3 times a week as well. We covered the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the glutes and piriformis, and the adductors. And then we had the bonus mobility exercise I do before all of my workouts. I really just try to make this part of my going to bed routine or my wind down routine, because it's quite hard to stay at the gym and then do your stretches afterwards. And to be honest, it doesn't need to be right after a workout. As long as you're doing it later in the day, it can be just as effective. Not shown in this video, but really honorable mention is stretching your calves. So we didn't go through the calf stretches because I don't really do them laying on the couch in my relaxed Netflix environment, but always stretching your calves after runs as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment below of something that you'd be interested to see next. Tune in next time.